This is Iron Lateran. He is a realistic, medieval, lore-locked, hardcore Iron Man. This means that he can't use magic, can't runecraft, can't use any magical items, or teleports. My goal is to explore the world of RuneScape as a scholar of literature and medieval lore and see how it stacks up to the real thing. I'll be doing this experiment as long as is needed, but in the meantime, I have monsters to slay, heretics to persecute, lessons to learn,
Pizza is not consistent with a medieval RPG.
and quests to complete. Enjoy. Merry Christmas and welcome to a special holiday episode of Iron Lateran, the medieval-only Iron Man. Today I will be exploring some of the medieval traditions around Christmas while completing the event, which, yes, I can complete, unlike the Halloween event. Yes, sad. I know it's been a while, but if you watched the last video I posted here, you'll see why. I've been very busy not only with my own projects, but also with, the craziness of the holiday season, so I figured what better way to celebrate than to hop on and do the event for everyone. Now, you've seen probably a million guides of this, you've probably done it yourself, so you know what? It's not about that, it's about the history, right? It's about Christmas. Let's just check on our Iron Man stats real quick. Yeah, okay, they are exactly the same as the last time. I have not been playing at all. Yeah, we're gonna begin the quest by talking to these guys and talking to Saint Nick. I know it says Santa, but yeah, we're gonna call him Saint Nick, not Santa Claus or Father Christmas, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, the origin of the Santa character is a super long thing that I'm not gonna. Oh, look, Romeo, he's got a hat. Oh, he's so festive in his misery. The origin of the Santa characters are really long, so I'm not going to get into it. But basically, in short, why we're using Saint Nick is that he was a Greek priest who lived in the 4th and 3rd century. He died just before the beginning of the medieval era as we know it. That lucky. Anyway, during the Yule time and around the 6th of December, a celebration of his life was common in many parts of Europe. Over time, this tradition became associated with the previously unrelated gift-giving activities. The Father Christmas character that a lot of people associate with Santa Claus, right? Even his image, okay, of this, hearty old man comes from this personification of Father Christmas, but that actually doesn't show up until the very end of the medieval era, around the 15th century or so. So Father Christmas is actually a much younger character than Saint Nicholas by like 1200 years or so. And then, of course, Santa Claus is not a bad name because it is just a shortening of Saint Nicholas, but it didn't show up until the 19th century. So Saint Nick is really the only good name that we can use. I know that we just spent like a minute and a half talking about what to call this guy.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
It's history.
Get on with it.
Okay, so apparently we have to go parent Santa's child for him, so off we go to the bakery. Oh, I love it. Everybody's so festive. Okay, so apparently he summoned an ice lord to help him cook. I'm gonna have to say that Gordon Ramsay would not approve, but you know what? I'm not a chef. I don't know. Maybe that's a new strategy. I bet you on Cutthroat Kitchen that would be a super useful thing to have. I can just imagine one of the contestants now. I'm from Minnesota, and I cook in the frigid cold all the time, so a horrible elemental ice monster attacking me while I try to flambe this fish won't be a problem at all for me. I'm too tough. Just for the record, I don't know what anti-Santa is supposed to represent in the medieval lore, but we're just gonna roll with it. He's calling him out. Anti-Santa, never heard of him. Sounds like an edgy version of you. If Anti-Santa is the equivalent of like cold steel Sanic, I'm gonna be so happy. Nothing personnel, kid, as he like throws a bag of coal on top of a child. Oh, we're getting so much deep lore here. I love this. Evil Bob locked him away in Scape Rune. Honestly, if any adult heard me saying these sentences as seriously as I'm reading them, they would take away my house. Like, they would be like, this person should never own a building. He should never be allowed to carry weapons. This man is a danger to himself and all around him. Oh, no. Oh, it teleported us. Well, you know what? That's okay. The game did teleport it without my consent. I didn't know that that was going to happen. That was part of Iron Lateran's thing, is that if the game forces us to teleport, we're not breaking the rules. So I'm okay with that. If he gave us the tablet and we had to break it to teleport, I would probably have to stop the quest right there. But he teleported us. I didn't know that was going to happen, so all right, we're good. So, all right, basically Anti-Santa wants to reverse the joy of Christmas. He wants people, instead of laughing, to be crying. He wants Christmas to be stopped once and for all. Basically, it's the plot of Monsters Inc., but backwards. Whoa, all right, we got some violent interactions going on here. I'm gonna slap you back to Lumbridge. This is some PK World trash talk. I love it. Oh, whoa. Oh my. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh look, it's a Bumble from that weird animated movie. I guess I'm putting on some armor because I don't know if this guy's gonna attack me. Right. Here we go. Can I get the storage key? No, I can't reach it. Oh, and he knocked me out. Okay. Oh, cute. We have to make gingerbread. This is wonderful. I mean, it's to get past like a horrible four-armed ice lord monster, but no, it's cute. Oh, we got a sack of flour we're gonna need. We got a sack of ginger we're gonna need. Oh, I'm gonna grab some more of these pots. I think we're gonna need a bunch of these. So while I'm doing this, I think this would be a good time to talk about some of the traditions and activities that would be done during this time period. Some of the most common activities for Christmas celebrations in the medieval era, just like today, centered around food and the consumption of it. Oh, food. Delicious food. Some things never change. Food never change. There were also other familiar traditions, including feasting, drinking, being merry, spending time with loved ones, traveling great distances, fasting for 20 days, and persecuting the Jews. Whoa, whoa. Wait, that's awful. Wow, I'm just reading this now. They fasted for 20 days? That's awful. Oh, right. Okay, yeah, and they also persecuted the Jews. Yeah, let's talk about that for a sec. Let's just take a break to mention that just a hot minute. All right, let's just find like an example of one of these traditions. Let's find like an authoritative source on it. And wait, are you serious? Why are they writing about this? In all seriousness, though, there has been a history of attacks on Jewish people during the Christmas time, and there's a couple reasons for this. One, people just, have always hated the Jews. That's just kind of like their thing, is they get hated on, historically speaking. But more than that, there were times when people were seeking out Jews during Christmas and attacking them. A few dates include in Fulda, Germany, 1235, in Austria, 1312, and in France, 1321. These were moments where literally people sought out and attacked and even killed Jews around Christmas time. The Jews don't see Christmas as an important holiday because they don't perceive Christ as being the, one and only savior, the return of God to this world to bring about salvation. They don't see him as that. So for them, it's not important, right? It would be like celebrating Paul's birthday or St. Peter's birthday. Like, it's just a guy, okay? So they started kind of fighting back spiritually, and they created this thing called Niddelnacht. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. But basically they would play cards or chess or some other game in order to sort of spite Christianity, saying, hey, we're not even going to work here. We're not going to study. We're not going to give Christianity any kind of spiritual merit. We are going to play games. So even today, a lot of Jewish people still play a lot of games around the holidays, particularly as like Hanukkah celebrations, or even if they're Orthodox, continuing the Niddelnacht celebrations as sort of a lack of integration. They're rejecting the culture and accepting their own counterculture. So that was a real thing that happened. Personally, I don't recommend you kill anybody on Christmas. If you're gonna pick a day to do it, at least make sure it's festive. So I'd say around Halloween time would probably be good. Okay, so I made some gingerbread gnomes, but they're too small. Huh, okay. So I'm just gonna eat these, I think. That should be delicious. Yum. I bet you it's 3. I bet you I'm going to need 3 of everything. So I'm just going to grab 3 of everything. I figure 3 is the magic number. They gave me 3 gnomes and they weren't big enough, so that's just my guess. Totally unrelated, but look at the HD quality of this flooring. I love this, and they even staggered the seams. That's nice. Whoever, whatever contractor did this, you know, props to them. So if we broaden the scope from Christian Europe, which is the focus of this character, we begin to notice a trend of winter solstice celebrations across the world. The solstice is the day of the year when daylight is shortest and night is longest. And for people who, you know, were terrified of the night, this was a really obvious time. Like, it was clear that the sky was changing, light was changing. From the darkest night of winter, things began to heat up, things began to warm up, and things began to lighten up, resulting in, you know, an eventual return to spring and life in temperate zones. The sheer number of these midwinter celebrations are staggering, making Christmas seem like just the tip of a very, very, very long and deep iceberg, going back 10,000 years, 12,000 years really, to 10,000 BC, the Neolithic Age. But there's a few highlights that we're a little bit more familiar with today. So here's a quick list of some of the highlights. Saturnalia of the Romans, Yule, which is a Norse celebration, the Inti Raymi in the Incan Empire, St. Lucia's Day with the Norse again, Dongji, a Chinese celebration of the solstice, Toji in Japan celebrating not just the solstice but also the new year, Shabe Yalda, an Iranian festival, and Native American traditions, including some with the Zuni and the Pueblo peoples in western New Mexico. So there are so many celebrations, and to talk about them all is well beyond the scope of this video. But to get to my point here, the Christian celebration landing on December 25th is not an anomaly. It's not anything incredibly special, okay? Historians never put the birth of Christ anywhere near December 25th, and that's a can of worms that I'm not going to open. But when we zoom in or we zoom out, ultimately we're seeing the same thing. We're seeing humans celebrating with a lot of food, whatever the food they can get during this time period, especially in the temperate zones where there was no way to grow food and there was no refrigeration technology, so you just had to hope that you had a nice cold winter and you could keep all your food frozen. And no matter where you go in the world, these traditions remain relatively stable. So you would sing some carols. Carols really began as a way to combine the religious and non-religious. So you would be singing phrases in Latin and you'd be singing phrases in whatever language you spoke. Over time, those musical phrases changed to meet with the current trends in music. So it wouldn't just always be green sleeves. You know, I mean, yeah, we still sing green sleeves.
Just play the one you played yesterday.
Yes, my lord.
Ah, yes. This one is my jam.
But they would change the music but not the words, okay? So they would keep those things, just like we do today. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra is just a continuation of what people were doing in ancient pubs in medieval Europe. One thing you definitely would not do is you would not cut down a Christmas tree and decorate it. That would not become popular until the 20th century, really. Yeah, kind of a little bit in the 19th century, but not really, okay? So this is an extremely recent tradition. Yes, it did have a place in ancient non-Christian cultures, but again, we're focusing kind of on this Central Europe, Christian Christ, bloody blah, you know what I'm talking about, okay? We're not talking about Iceland. Another practice that you might see is you may see kind of a topsy-turvy moment. So if you've seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame, you've seen an example of this where they take Quasimodo and make him out to be the king. It's a topsy-turvy day, it's a big celebration, and it's fun. That does have roots in medieval Christmas celebrations. However, it was more specifically the bishop who would be replaced by a young boy. The boys were trained to be sort of perfect examples of a bishop, but, you know, sometimes they would have some fun. Okay, they might change the message a little bit to suit their needs. And this was usually kind of fun. However, while they were the bishop, people kind of took them seriously. Like, yeah, they are just a young boy, but they also are a bishop for a day. So sometimes if they said something, it could lead to, you know, kind of a riot or other party. I don't know. It sounds awesome to me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing, but I am. These fake bishops were sometimes called lords of misrule, which I find is awesome. But apparently on the 27th of December 1523, after the medieval era, but this is just an example, a guy named William Babington killed Robert Wolfe at a Christmas game. So yeah, these parties could get out of hand. That is very much like today, but we're not celebrating it with bishops usually, unless, you know, you have a bishop in your town that's like super lit and down to party. All right, so let's take a look at what we've done here while we've been cooking. Oh, gingerbread shield, neat. I don't think they had this in the medieval era, but you know what? Gingerbread is pretty hard. Like, I don't know if you've ever made really terrible gingerbread, but I think it's oh, look, it's a face. Oh no, that's horrifying. Oh yeah, you can't get me. Yes, I'm too powerful for you. Oh, he charged my gingerbread shield. Look at this. Woo, he painted it. Oh no, it's somehow worse. Why did they do this? It's like the gnome child. Horrifying. I hate it. I hate everything about this. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this back on. That's much less scary. Oh, but oh no! It's awful. Oh, I'm gonna wear it though, because it looks really holy. Wow, the absolute gumption of Romeo to walk up to this face and be like, have you seen Juliet? Like, dude, I can't see my own toes. Have you seen Juliet? No, I can't see anything. So what have we learned? I've learned that many holiday traditions, like feasting, drinking, being merry, and singing songs go way back. And I think we've learned that we've lost some holiday traditions along the way, including the Lords of Misrule, which should totally come back. At my next Christmas party, I am naming somebody a Lord of Misrule. I'm going to put a Burger King crown on their head, and I'm going to say, all right, sir, do as you will. It's like a horrible game of Simon Says. So I think really what we could take away from this and the holiday season is that people are people. Thank you, Dr. Seuss, right? But no, really, people are people no matter what era. Whether you're a Roman celebrating Saturn by drinking on the doorstep of the Colosseum, or a guy getting into a bar fight because someone insulted your family, or listening to a heavy metal cover of your favorite Christmas carol. That has changed year after year after year for over 1,000 years. You are continuing that human experience, that excuse to survive, that way to bring people together. That's really what this is about. Survival, humanity, and sharing of resources. That might sound, you know, a little sentimental, but I think that's true. It's no more sentimental than the idea that God himself would come down and die for humanity, or that ice trolls and elves are going to sneak into your house and leave presents. Those are sentimental too. Those are religious beliefs, and not necessarily to be disconnected from this experience. People needed a way to survive. They needed an excuse, and all of these traditions came around this time for a reason. Maybe you believe it's divinely inspired reasons. Maybe you believe that people are hungry and need to share it. But I know this Christmas season, not only do I celebrate it, but I love that RuneScape celebrates it. I love that we get to share this activity online and, you know, connect with, you know, thousands of people and robots and, you know, recreated Shakespearean characters all over the world. So from me to you this holiday season, have a happy, merry Christmas, wassailing, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy, drink, and be merry, everybody. And if you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe it so you can keep up with Iron Lateran's adventures whenever they continue. So, thank you for watching, and have a great holiday season.